a little bit more rhetorically superior. The judges like it. Yeah.
So basically, you still do two top things, but on the third one, you kind of do more information.
Right, you have more analysis. You have more. You just come with more ideas as you're writing down. You have a piece of evidence. You've got this story that you want to tell. This really cool example. You know, a friend of yours. You know, anecdotes are not bad. They don't work all the time. Don't use too many of them, but they're not bad. All right, so here's what not to do with four-part refutation. Four-part refutation is good, but you can overuse it. So let's see. All right. Like I mentioned right here, the first and best place to read evidence is in the because. Now, in a few days, I think we're going to give you guys all cases and negative briefs. And in team policy, a case and a negative brief is like your bread and butter, like your liquid gold is the evidence that you read. In team policy, a lot of the argumentation funnels around evidence. Has anybody here know what an evidence card is or seen an evidence card? No. Okay. Oh, wait, you have. Yes. Okay. So basically what happens is you want to say something, but all the academic white tower people know that you're a teenager, so they're not going to trust you. So they don't trust what you want to debate about. So they want to say, use somebody credible. So you go, as the high schooler, sweet, I'm going to look up Dr. John Doe from the University of Iowa, who is a molecular biochemist. I don't even know if that's a field. Molecular biochemistry. And he said that whales aren't dying. Whales are not dying. Voila! There we go. We have a credible source. We've got a credible guy that said it with a credible institution to back up his name. That's what a piece of evidence is. A piece of evidence is simply a credible person saying exactly the same thing that you want to say, or supporting the exact same point that you want to support. That's basically what evidence is. Now, there's a lot of rules that we'll go over with evidence later. Like you have to include a certain, a general amount of lines after it to make sure that he's quoted in context and all that stuff. But the because line is right the perfect place where you're going to put evidence. And if you wanted to, which is really cool what Spencer was talking about, if you really wanted to, you could even just label these claim, warrant, impact, because a warrant usually has a piece of evidence underneath it. So that's what the because is, essentially. The impact is a great way to insert the impact analysis or the impact way that Spencer was talking about yesterday. What were some of the things that he was talking about? Some of the ways we can use to weigh around or to prove that one thing's better than another. Do you guys remember? Magnitude, that's good. Anybody remember any others? Go ahead, look at your notes. Come on. X versus Y. What are some other ones? Time frame. Perfect. All of those things you can insert in the therefore line. You can say, Judge, that means that more people are going to die in their plan than in ours. Judge, that means that X is better than Y. Judge, that means our plan is going to happen before theirs. Or Judge, that means yada, 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 yada. Whatever you want to put for magnitude, impact, scope, analysis way, all goes in the therefore stuff. And that's the beautifulness of four-part refutation, is you can include all of the other debate stuff, all the other debate lingo right here. So let me erase some of this messiness. And let's go back to practicing, because I love practice. So we're going to use a little bit of a harder topic. And don't freak out if you don't know anything about it, because I'll help you guys out. It'll be a lot of fun. So I say China, let's see, China will be economically superior to the next 3 nations combined in 50 years. Can anybody decipher this for me? What? Can anybody decipher this for me? You nodded.
Decipher.
Yeah. What does it mean? What am I saying?
Basically, that China is going to become very successful economically, and that the 3 nations' wealth and economic prosperity combined will not even match
Right.
China's
The next 3 nations will be economically as good, will not measure up in the next 50 years, or next 3 combined. Next 3 nations combined will not be as economically powerful.
Top 3 above China.
Yeah, of above or below, like right on the economic index for the world. So basically, what I'm saying is China's the bomb. Don't let all of this fluffy wording get to you. When you're a debater, you got to look at the core of the argument, because the judge wants to hear what the core of the argument is. All of debate is about getting to what the debate is. I think Albert Einstein said the important thing is to keep the important thing the important thing. It's a great quote, because you want to look at, you know what, you're going to face some good debaters if you guys debate. And they're like, oh, I'm such a good debater. Here's the argument. And all of this, oh, dude, I'm just going to make this argument look so good, and you're going to have no idea what that argument is going to say because I'm such a good speaker, and yada, 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 yada. Don't let that distract you from what the core of the argument is. So basically, all of this flowery wording is essentially saying that China is economically the bomb. So using 4-point refutation, let's start with you. What would you say for number 1? Yes.
I would
recap, right? Okay.
China will be superior to the next 3 nations in 50 years.
Right. Okay. What would you say for number 2? Okay, that's good. Straight up claim. China will not be bomb in 50 years. All right. So you want to take the, who wants to take the because?
I have a question.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Recapping what they said, would it be straw manning to take the core of the argument, reduce all the fluffiness, and just take the core?
I don't think so, as long as you tell the judge you're doing it. You go, look, judge, they say that China's going to be economically superior to the next 3 nations on the index in 50 years. We really don't think that's going to be the case because we don't believe that China's that great. And what you've done is you've taken their argument and you've reduced it to, they think China's that great, we don't think China's that great. And it's really cool because you can take their arguments and you can simplify them. And it makes the debate so much easier for the judge to understand when you simplify it to what it really, really means. And again, Spencer, Tucker, if you have stuff to add, just raise your hand. And if I'm like preaching heresy up here, then please tell me. Like, okay. All right, so who wants to take the because line? Who thinks they have enough economic know-how to take the because line? Okay, go ahead. Take a shot.
So one of the reasons why China has a bunch of reproduction, so the more workers they have, the problem is that means the workers will have to feed more people.
Okay.
Feed more people, so the economics will go more.
So you think that the amount of people in China will hinder their ability to become an economically superior nation?
Yeah.
Okay. Population. Okay. So who wants to add another reason to this list? Yeah.
China's economic system is not as free, so people
Right.
will be incented.
They're a free market that's pretending to be a free market run by a communistic nation, which is really hard to do. And they've actually accomplished it pretty well, but it can't last for too long. So not really a free market. All right. Who else has? Yeah, that's true.
Military clashes with other nations can hinder economic.
Military clashes suck up money. Which is interesting. What I was telling you guys about random historical facts, China's constitution actually prevents them from ever getting in an international war, which doesn't mean that they wouldn't get in an international war, but it just means that their constitution hinders them. So they could get in a domestic war, but they really wouldn't get involved in an international war. So yeah, military wars cost.
They can get into a war with other countries,
Yeah,
but they can get a war into by themselves.
yeah, basically.
I am fairly certain that they would be able to enter a war. If
They would. Politically, they would enter. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. But it's just a funny notion that they actually have a constitution that says that. Also, talking about like random historical facts. I tell you, like there's no limit to how many random historical facts. You guys want like story time? Okay. So there's this bank in the Philippines called Banco Delta Asia. Delta Asia. What? And you know what's the crazy thing about Banco Delta Asia is they actually possess three of the imprint minting cards for $100 bills. They stole them. They had somebody steal them from the U.S. Department of Treasury, and they possessed 3 imprints of 100, and they're legitimate imprints, so they can counterfeit U.S. money like nobody's business. They're just printing U.S. money because they can counterfeit it and they can give it to all their clients.